Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at detectrader.com. It's Thursday, the 21st of September. These are the charts of the day. Well, it's kind of a lousy day on Wall Street. The markets were lower. A lot of stocks we follow had good days. I'm going to show you some of them. One of the day trades in the last couple of days was Artibus, ABUS. If you take a look at the longer pattern, you'll see that this stock had traded at one point all the way up in that 30 range for a while, back in 2014, and then came all the way down to that $2 level before rising back up again. You can see it's exploding recently, having gone from about 3.25 all the way up to almost 8 today. The high was 7.85, and then yesterday was a big spike up day. Today, that was yesterday. Today was a really quiet inside day, although the volume was pretty good. When I see a stock pop like that and get an inside day, oftentimes it'll get a follow-through day the next day. So watch this one for a day trade tomorrow, perhaps, that get this up to 8, 8.5, or even 9. There's 5.5 days to cover, and we'll also keep tabs on the low of the day, 675 as support. But that one could be interesting. ACTG, which I haven't been following, which did very well in 2016. As you can see, the 5-wave move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the rollover and the channel break right there before the big downtrend took it from 7.75 all the way down to under 3. Now recently it surged, and particularly in the last 4, 5, 6 days, a lot of big volume trading, over 1 million shares every day, with over 2.5 million shares in 2 out of the last 3 days. It popped out through resistance. Now it looks to me like the next target could be a test of that zone where the resistance is around 5.75, and then maybe we can get it up towards the 640 range. So let's keep an eye on this one for a follow through. But it's been strong, it's been long, it's been moving average getting crossed over, but it's a little longer in the tooth near term, and so you got to watch this one for potential reversals as well. AKCA, ever since it went public, has been exploding from near 8 to over 26. First it had the big pop here from 8 to about 16, doubling. Then it went sideways for about 3 weeks, popped out there, ran up there towards the 26, 6.25 range, and then backed off. But you can see the trend line. It's been very strong, and today it popped out over the double top. My mid-range target is 30. I can see the stock making it to the mid-30s if momentum carries this one forward. Now, AKTX had a big day today. As you know, we traded it in the morning. It did very well for us. Let's take a quick look at that. In the morning, that explosive move, which we caught a good chunk of, but it basically was a large wave 1 and then a 2, 3, 4, 5 before the rollover. Now, I've been watching this one going forward. I'd be watching this going forward because sometimes I'll pop through resistance like this one did right there and then come down towards it. I think tomorrow's going to be an important day to see whether or not it is able to pop back up and retest the high. Today's high was 11.95, and it's additional resistance right around that area near 12.5. So 11, let's call it 12, 12.5 would be a target short term if it gets any follow through. CYRX has been on a complete tear. This has gone from under 2 to nearly 10. Fivefold increase since April, and a very strong rising channel with a nice near-term pattern that shows a little bit of a platform rising type mini channel. There's a double top right there as well. You're right about that 990, 10 range, 985. I think if it gets through there, though, you're going to see the stock near 11. So watch this one for follow-through extension the next day or two. 2.5 days to cover on that one. Big day for EXAS as it broke out to multi-year, if not all-time highs. It looks like it's an all-time high. Indeed it is. At this point, I would expect to see the stock make a run that could get it somewhere up about, I would have to say, 50, 52 is my near-term target. So let's keep an eye on this one going forward with 15 days to cover. There could be a follow-through as early as tomorrow. FOLD is looking great, isn't it? Popped out yesterday, followed through with a little gap today. Volume was 7.5 million and continues strong. I would expect to see a run towards 18. That's my target. 11.8 days to cover on that. Well, finally, IPXL got a break today and exploded out of that wedge. Remember the pop 3 weeks ago, consolidating in a little bit of a coiling-type wedge pattern. Today it exploded all the way up to 25.70 after announcing they may be in merger talks with another firm. There's resistance at 26.7, and if they don't get taken out quickly, it may very well get up towards 30 before it's over. 4 days to cover on that one. Taking a look at Copen. Nice little pullback and then snapback with a reversal. Only up a penny on the day, but a nice reversal off the low. I think it's consolidating in this zone and setting up for the next target through 460. It's going to take us up near 5, 5.25. 10.4 days to cover on beauty, on that beauty. You remember mine, we had a swing on it in here, it did very well. Then it consolidated for several months. Double top was tested today on the close. This is the highest close we've seen in the stock ever. Take a look at this pattern, and then take a look at the closing here, which was 29.80. Today closed at 29.88. So technically a new all-time closing high. If this continues, or if we get a follow-through tomorrow, we should watch this one because we can see 32 or even 34 near term. NTNX has been doing well. I like the way it popped right back up through this declining lateral resistance and is testing the declining top line, backed off of it, of course. But should this get up through here, I would look for this stock to make a run at the 25.5 range, and then we're looking at something up around 28, 29. 6 days to cover on NTNX. NVCR, well, it's a swing trade that's acted great since I gave it to you in April. It's been consolidating. It finally popped and now it's wedging. Today it jumped 55 cents. Now a big move, but volume increased. And if I can get this up through resistance about 22.5, 22.30, I think it's not going to make a move towards 27. So keep an eye on this one for a follow through. And there's 8 days to cover, which could fuel the fire as well. Well, PSTG popped out. I like the look of this chart. I like the fact that major resistance was taken out, and then it backed off. Well, sometimes we see that. I'm not happy about the pullback from 15.64 back to near 15, but I think it could be an opportunity to pick up a stock for an eventual run that takes it to 18. 7.5 days to cover on this one. Secondary target is up around 20. QURE. I noticed this earlier, and when I saw today's action, that wedge was broken with a thrust on 500,000 shares or more, which is a big line for that stock. At this point, I can see a run that takes us upwards of near, let's call it 11.5, and then we're looking at this triple top up here at about 15. So those are my short-term and then swing targets. 9.5 days to cover on that beauty. And how about this VERI? This is bucking for chart of the year, and literally in about 3.5 weeks, it's gone from under 8 to 56. You know, a 7-fold increase in about 5 weeks. Pretty amazing. And yet, momentum hasn't waned at all. You would think that yesterday the pullback would have knocked it for a loop, but it came right back. And today up another 757 or 16%. When is this going to end? Not until it blows off, I think. We may see 70, 75 before it's done. But I would put a stop on today's low, anything under 46, and we're done with this one. Vanda. Well, I finally put a swing on it today because the triple top was taken out and then pulled back and tested, and today it resumed, or it looks like it did. There may be some resistance as near term as 19.25, but if should it get through that, I'm looking for much more in this one towards 23 and 27. 4.3 days to cover on that. But Winnebago was a swing trade for us when it popped and broke back out here, and it worked out well for a couple months in November, December, and then it got smacked back. But it recovered, wedged, popped and retested the high, and today broke out. It looks like, if you look at the long-term chart, that this is now above the highest level ever achieved, and that was back in 13 years ago. And at this point, no reason to assume it can't extend. Looking at the channel that I've drawn in, your mid-channel target is 44, and the upper channel target is 49. I may put a swing on this tomorrow. Finally, a Zoma swing trade that's acting great. Pop wedge, pop rising channel. Got to the top of that channel today. At one point was trading at 22.69 before backing off nearly 2 points. So not a good finish today, but it did pull back to test support, much like we saw with a couple of the other stocks that we looked at earlier. And so I'm going to be keeping my eyes on this one for move to 24.25. 7 days to cover on Zoma. And folks, that's it for tonight. Have a good evening. Tomorrow's Friday, TJF, and let's see how it goes tomorrow. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning.